second part, I'm going to show you what to do with our imported list and segment how to send an email, a newsletter to them. So newsletters are sent from the channels and email section. You can see previous emails here, including template emails and segment emails, or how people call it, broadcasts or newsletters. Let's create a new. We can choose to have a template email or a segment email. A template email is something what you use later in campaigns, or you use as a email verification and so on. So something, it's an ingredient, something you use later. So it's a building block. Segment email is a one-time thing. You send it out and that's it. So let's go for a segment email because we just want to send a newsletter. Here are different templates what you can use. You can modify these templates as well. There are different simple ones, complicated ones. Just choose something you like. You can also code your own. If you click here in code modus, then the builder, then you can code your own email with the HTML, or if you have HTML ready, you can just paste it in here. We're going to go today with a ready newsletter called Paprika. And if you click on the builder, then you can see how this looks like. So this is exactly what we need for our Paprika audience. How lucky that we have something like that. You can fill out the subject here. So let's call it amazing tricolor on your plate. Now the internal name should be something that later you understand what did you send out. So I'm just gonna, I like to use this type of marking. So I'm gonna say Paprika. And I'm also gonna say here wholesale. That's because I wanna understand that later I wanna understand that these people were our wholesale customers who I sent this newsletter to. Amazing 3 colors. This is for us. The customers won't see the leads. This is for the leads. This is just for yourself. And then the segment here, we're going to choose the Paprika interest. This is the segment what we created before. So now it's, I think, 9 people, including my test user. You can also have categories if you want. Categories help you organize your stuff. I will also choose the language. Keep it as English, but you can change it to whatever you want. And you can also set that this would be a translation of another email, which we're not using in this case. But for example, you want to send out 3 different emails, one in English, one in French, and one in German. What you would do is you would create one and then 2 more and set it that other 2 would be a translation of the first one. So this way you could bundle them together. And when you send out one, everyone gets the newsletter, which is according to their language preferences. We're gonna set it as not public yet, actually, because we're still working on that. And we will talk about this publishing switches a little bit later. You can also set a special unsubscribe page here, which we will not do. The default is just fine. And also the whole page or just the form. You can add your Google Analytics tag. We have another tutorial coming up on this later. Once we have it, I will add it under this video. Okay, so these are the basic settings. If you click here to the other tab, you can fine-tune your sending. So you can have a different name here if you want. You can say this is actually the Paprika wholesale department. And you can even have another email. Just make sure that that email address is also registered already in your friend list setting. You can add a price list here if you want. So it's possible to upload information, any attachment basically. And you can also have a text version here, which I urge you to have because text version will help inboxing. If you're too lazy to do it, you can just click on Automatic erzeugen, and it will be automatically generated for you. You can make it nicer, doesn't really matter. Okay, so let's save it. And let's go to the builder and create our first newsletter. I happen to have this theme already, so it's all done. You don't really have to, I don't really have to edit it, but if you want to modify it, you're welcome to do so. You click here and then you can edit on the right side. It's actually pretty simple. You can change the images, drop the image here, you can resize it if you want. So it's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple editor. You can also, you have also these areas what you can freely move. So for example, I would like to take this and then move it over there, then I can do it. I can just switch them around basically. Okay. So once we have our email ready, we're gonna do some saving here. Before I forget, there is two fields which you should use. One is here, and I'm gonna go to the code view to edit this block, this one, edit it here. We have this href, which is a link. WebView will display the proper page which renders this email. So you can see how it looks on the web basically. So someone that has, for example, Outlook users very often have the images turned off. So if they click here, then they will see all the images because it will be a website. The other one is the unsubscribe, which always looks as follows. It looks as unsubscribe URL with a curly bracket. So you should have this in your emails, not to be punished by any large email service provider. Okay, so once we have it ready, let's save it and close it. And let's test to see how it would arrive. Now, when you test an email, and this is actually very important that you're not disappointed when you first test it. Let's put it on published, close it. And then you will have the option to test the email with a simple test example button. So one way is to send a test, and I want to show you the other way, the proper way how to actually test your newsletters. So we can actually simulate a real test here by sending to a special segment, which I usually call seed. Let's see what happens if we send a test. So I will do test send then, and I will give my email address here, my test email. Okay, and let's see what arrives. This arrives pretty much instantly. This is how the email looks like. It looks pretty nice to me. Let's see if the unsubscribe works. What? It's not working. Let's check how the web view looks like. Also not working. Why not? This is actually the expected behavior, because when you send a test, this information here cannot be replaced with anything, because this depends on the contact, and we sent it to ourselves not as a contact but just sent it as a test. So there's no real person behind it. This email is not customized to a real person, it's just a test. So if you want to check if all the tokens are working and the unsubscribe is working, we have to send it, we have to simulate a real send. So let's go back to the contacts, remove here the filter, and open JoyKiller. This will be our test. And add this person to the seed list, to the seed segment. Let's see if we have right now, we have a test segment here, which says it's created by me, and it says that I am the only one who is in it. So we can just leave it that. Let's have a test like that. So we're gonna send it out to the test segment. So let's go back to our email. this one. Oh, by the way, now you see we have the email ready, and it says there are 9 people who will get this email. We sent so far 0, 2 were read, and that's a 0%. 0 were read, and that was 0%. So let's go back here and choose our segment, not the paprika interest, but let's just choose the test segment. We need to publish it, save it, and we're going to send it out with this method. Click on send. In this window, this is the sending window. In this window, we can set how big batches we would like to use for sending. Just leave it on 100. Don't touch it. This is already tried out and safe. So let's just leave it like that. It's also written that it will be sent to 1 person. And we're happy with that because we want to send it just to the test person. So we click here. Email goes away. There is the subject. 1 sent, 0 errors, 1 ready. Super cool. We can even see the email if you want the statistics. We can see that 1 email was sent. So let's see what actually arrived to us. Okay, email arrived. So this is already the 2nd email. Looks really cool. Let's see if the unsubscribers. Let's click here. Boom. So my email address was unsubscribed. There will be no more emails. Let's see if it's really true. Did I really unsubscribe? So let's go back to the contacts. And I see this sign here. That means I'm definitely unsubscribed. I won't get any more emails. So I have a do not contact here. I did. Let's remove this do not contact from here by clicking here. If this was an accident, let's click here. So we are again subscribed. So I go back here and refresh. This is gone. So this person can have an email again. And you see now the unsubscribe work because there was a real person behind it. When we send it out as a test, then the system doesn't know, okay, who should I unsubscribe? So let's go back to our emails. And now we can send out a real email, which is really, really cool. So let's do that. But we already sent out this one. What to do? The cleanest way to do it is to duplicate this email. So we would have it as a number and also should be a segment email. This is the exact copy with all the fields and everything. Exact copy of the previous one. So let's change this to our paprika interest and click on yes, we would like to publish it. If we want to send it out, the best way to do it is to choose here a time when this should be sent out. And we're going to do it by choosing the date. Today is the 3rd. And it's automatically choosing the current time. I'm going to do it 2 minutes in the future. And this information here, when to remove the publishing. So basically is when we stop sending out these emails to the newly subscribed members should be on Saturday. Because I would say then it's not valid content anymore. Let's do 23. 59 there, doesn't matter. Okay, so we have this ready. And right now, this email status is scheduled. We can click on send. What really happens is that it will be scheduled to send then when the time is coming. So only then, so when we reach in 1 minute in the future, this email will be sent out. So let's wait 1 minute and then we can see what happens to these 9 addresses if the email is really sent to them. And in the meanwhile, it was sent. So all the 9 emails were sent to the respective contacts.